Hi everyone, it's Kathy Millett from Net Branding, Be Seen, Be Heard, Be Found Online. I thought I'd take you through a little bit of a journey as to where Net Branding's come from over the last 10 odd years. Although the company was only formed in 2010, it had been developing in terms of an idea and a philosophy for a few years before that. Um, Ideally, when we started, it was around the time when the global economy really came to a halt, and businesses were really struggling. My husband at that point in time had actually formed his own business. I had, because of my history, asked him to do a website, which he did at a great cost to himself. And when I started to probe deeper into that website, I realized that at the back we weren't really getting the traffic that we needed. And without calls coming in and without leads coming in, there was nothing to really fund any work that needed to be done. So I started to embark on putting an infrastructure around that website that could actually start driving leads towards his business. And I spent some time doing that. Because of my methodology background, I realized I needed to put a process around what I was doing. And ideally, back sort of 2007, 2008, 2009, this whole concept of digital marketing didn't exist. And really, what I was doing was branding businesses and branding his business in an online space. Once he started to gain success out of what I was doing, he started to tell his clients, who his clients were asking him about it. And with that in mind, they started to approach me. And so in 2010, Net Branding was formed. Why was it called Net Branding? It was the first little business logo or business card that I had. It was called Net Branding because that's what I was doing. I was branding businesses on the internet. And if you have a look at the card, it was actually all about, I was taking businesses to the world and I was branding them online. The concept of digital marketing and the concept of social media was a non-existent term. Although by that stage, Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn had started to come out of the waters. They weren't quite focused on the business market yet, and business pages, etc., hadn't come to fruition. As my business progressed and as things started to develop, it was probably about 2012, so 2 years later, that I went through a slight rebrand. By that stage, I knew that I was taking businesses into the cloud, and so clouds became a great part of my brand and my collateral that I was using as I did presentations. And I started to move into the back of the card with the little icons that had then become popular. So net branding was evolving as digital marketing was evolving and social media was evolving. And so you can really see the difference through those. Roll on 2016, started to believe that this particular brand didn't actually do the work that we were doing justice, and certainly didn't show a company that was evolving and was at the forefront of modern website development, modern technologies, modern SEO, modern social media, and keeping up with the state of play. And I really wanted my brand to reflect the good work that we were doing in that space. So the modern trend, 2016, was for more flat designs, more icons, and I also thought that a little bit of induction of or introduction of color would be great. So the new Net Branding logo was created thanks to one of my very talented team members, and the back of the card became again the icons to show the areas that we actually worked in. We injected a touch of green, green being progressive, green being confident, green being bold, and also a little bit of the sign of the environment we were in. So net branding has come on a path, and I think that's exactly what we do for our clients. We join them on the path wherever they are in terms of their online presence. Some are right at the beginning, some are halfway down the path, some are a little bit nervous about the suppliers that they choose to work with. So we work with all sorts of companies, we join them on the path, and ultimately we develop a customized solution to them, something that is purposefully created for their business, that delivers to their objectives and delivers to what they physically need in that online space. We guide them, we inform them, we have the hard discussions around what we think they should be thinking about, and we encourage them to take that next step. And we have clients that are in the next evolution of their next website with us, because once we start working with them, they trust us to do what's best for them, and we become part of their business as well. So net branding is pleased to have been in business for over 7, 8 years now, a little bit more in terms of its infancy stage. And certainly our customer database and our client database has grown, and we just love being part of all their business successes as they develop and as they extend their reach in that online space. So it's Kathy Millett from Net Branding. Be seen, be heard, be found online.